So the Bengals have worked out 2 wide receivers and 2 linemen. And you might look at this and think, oh, okay, this is something good, right? By the way, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hopefully you enjoy your Christmas. And you might look at this and say, okay, maybe this is something in a positive direction. We're actually working out some players and hopefully going to better our roster. These 4 guys are... They're not, listen, at the end of the day, they could become something, they really could, but it's not like we're working out players like veteran guys that are going to join the team right now and help out, and do something. These are really just going to be practice squad guys. In the end, they might make the active roster as like 1 or 2, 3 snaps a game type guys. But we worked out 2 wide receivers and 2 linemen. The receivers, Ralph Holly, Khalil Pimpleton. Okay, this seems like fake names. Makai Polk and Trevor Reed. Lordy, those names are very interesting. Ralph Holly is a defensive tackle, by the way. He was an undrafted guy out of Michigan in 2022. He signed to the Toronto Argonauts, where he started 12 of 16 games in 2024, recording 12 tackles, 8 sacks, and a forced fumble. So he's never played in the NFL at all. Offensive tackle was undrafted out of Louisville in 2023, but signed with the Eagles and Falcons as a free agent, but was cut by both teams before the season began. Then he signed with UFL as the team's starting left tackle. So he wasn't able to make either the Eagles or the Falcons 53-man roster, never played regular season, got cut, went to UFL. So both the guys we signed, D tackle and wide receiver, or sorry, not signed, but worked out, both went ahead and just went to the UFL right away. One actually tried in the NFL, didn't work out. Khalil Pimpleton. He's 5'8", 175-pound receiver. Oh my lordy, he is a midget. Very small man. No, he's not a midget, but that's actually average height technically. But for the NFL, that's a midget. For the NFL standards, that's a midget. Was undrafted receiver out of Central Michigan, signed with the Lions after the draft, but was waived before final cut. He signed to a future contract by the Giants in January 2023, but ultimately waived before the season started. He then signed with UFL, obviously 45 catches, 715 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So far, none of these guys have actually made an NFL roster. They have all tried to and got cut before the NFL roster really went through. Makai Polk was an undrafted free agent wide receiver out of Mississippi State in 2022. He was signed to the Ravens practice squad, but cut before in September and was scooped up by the Giants. New York released Polk after the 2020 season, and he was re-signed by the Ravens, then released again. He then signed with UFL. The 6'3", 197-pound receiver finished with 61 receptions, 1,024 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So this guy at least stayed on an NFL team, it looks like. So he was cut, did not make the Ravens 53-man roster, tried to, could not. Got picked up by the New York Giants, stayed on their roster for the whole season. Looks like did not record a single stat with the New York Giants, but then got cut and picked back up by the Ravens. So at least this guy is 6'3", 197 pounds. And in all this, that is probably the most interesting player I think I could say I could look at. That's the most interesting guy. Because he's actually made a 53-man roster and stayed on it. As it says right here, we worked out all 4, but they left without signing a contract. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to guess that at this point, maybe just looking at options available. This isn't really something where you're looking at these guys to come on your team right now and, be like you're not looking for these guys to fill in a position or start right now. These guys are just, hey, if some injuries happen down the line, or if we don't re-sign somebody, let's say, for example, free agency hits and we don't re-sign a certain player, these are guys that you bring in for depth purposes in preseason and in training camp, but you want to have an idea of them right now so that hey, listen, this is an option out there for us if we would like to go toward that option, right? So that's pretty much all this is. It's not really a situation where you're going to sign them, start them, or anything. Again, these guys are going to be practice squad at best and potentially elevated to the 3-man roster if something does happen and you need someone at that moment in time. But these are not starters. These are not like, oh, the Bengals worked out 4 guys. Who were they? Yeah, no. These guys will probably not be relevant until preseason and training camp if we're lucky. So, it is what it is. Hey, listen, you're always trying to evaluate your team. You're always trying to evaluate talent. Always trying to get better. It's a step in the correct direction, I guess. See you guys next one. Peace out.